Women juggle a million things. There's a constant hum of to-dos and an endless mental checklist. But if you feel like you're running on fumes, fueled by caffeine and a sheer will to do it all, you might not understand one crucial concept: your stretch capacity. It's not just knowing how much you can handle, but how much you should handle. And my next guest believes that understanding your own limits is the key to showing up as your most powerful self. Best-selling author, speaker, and business consultant Michelle McCullough will break it down for us. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
I'm excited
wearing
for
your
this convo.
florals. Me too. Stretch capacity. Let's talk about what that is.
Yes, when I first learned about this, we were using it in context of how to work with teenagers and understanding that while they might be the same age, they have different experiences, that it gives them the opportunity to be able to stretch and grow and participate, whether they're helping with activities or teaching and speaking. And so when I started thinking about that, I actually felt like this is a conversation we need to be having with women. It's a conversation we need to be having in offices. And so I use it a little bit like this, like these are resistance bands that you would get at a physical therapy office. And while they look the exact same, they're gonna do something entirely different. Like this one is going to stretch a ton and be able to stretch. But this one doesn't have the same amount of give. And this is called extra heavy, and this is called extra light. And so sometimes in our lives, we are in circumstances or moments where we are in extra heavy situations. And whether that's personal challenges, challenges at work, challenges with our children, challenges with the people that we're caring for and loving, but also could be challenges that are happening in our communities or even in our country or in the world as a whole, we can feel that extra burden, which makes it hard for us to stretch. And then there's other times in our lives where we can do a lot and we can take a lot on and life is easier and we have extra light loads and we can do so much more. So as we think about stretch capacity in our own life, it's about understanding where we are. But the best part about it is that even when you're in tough, extra heavy situations, you can still stretch. And when we stretch, we grow. So it's about focusing on those areas where we stretch without breaking to give ourselves the ability to have that growth instead of staying stagnant, even when we're feeling tired or overworked.
Yeah, and I think of the word rigid.
Yes.
Okay, I love this example. So I think a lot of us think of the word limits as like something bad, that we don't have limits. You're saying we need to put a positive spin on that.
To a certain extent. I feel like there are some limits that we should be mindful of. I think there's some limits and boundaries that we need to set, but I also feel like it's understanding who we are and where we are right now with our current challenges and figuring out, instead of saying, here are all the reasons why I can't do something, here is what I am able to do, and showing up positively in the yes and of life. Things are hard and I'm able to do this.
Yeah, I like that. I hear that with improv a lot, right? But we can use it for our mental health. Okay, so if we stretch too far, we burn out. So how do we distinguish between healthy growth and then those red flags of burnout? You have some ideas for us.
Yes. I think that there are different phases. Like the goal is to be an optimal, right? There are times where we're going to swing, like that pendulum swing all the way over into burnout and all the way over into that rest and recovery phase that we talk about. But knowing what your limitations are and prepping yourself, because we all get messages about, hey, we're close to burnout, and we ignore them.
So you say there are signs we have to watch for.
There are signs. When you're feeling overtired, if you are sacrificing sleep in order to accomplish something or get something done, or feeling like you're just going to do one more thing, if you're putting off tasks and actions and ideas that bring you joy because you feel like you just need to power through, those are all signs that you're probably getting close to burnout and that you need to take care of yourself.
I've been all those places.
Amen.
And we all have, right? But it is good for us to recognize them when they happen. Thank you for that. So you also believe in a preservation routine.
Yes. And so I think there are so many tasks that we do regularly, daily, weekly, monthly tasks, that can help us as humans, the way that we clean our home, the way that we take care of family, all of those have routines around them, and yet we don't have that for ourselves. And so I encourage every woman, every employee to have what we call a preservation routine, where you think, okay, with everything going on in our life, whether it's extra light or extra heavy, that we're saying, what can I do to preserve myself? And it's thinking through daily, weekly, and monthly tasks and actions that you can take that will keep you happy and keep you preserved and keep you focusing on the things that are the most important. And so we recommend what are little things you can do every day, from a power up to power down routine, having a favorite playlist, making sure you take a walk or get some sunshine, and then thinking through some things that might take a little bit longer every week or every month that will help you stay sane, whether it's working on hobbies or connecting with friends.
And those are going to be different for everybody.
Yeah, and what you need is different than me, but knowing that and then prioritizing it instead of saying, I'll do that if I have time, that preservation list of daily, weekly, monthly tasks really should be a high priority.
For me, it would have to be on my calendar. So I would have to calendar in those self-preservation things. Okay, so navigating our limits can be hard. So how do we identify those limits and honor the limits?
Yes, so 2 parts to this. Number 1 is look historically first. When have you noticed yourself getting to those points of burnout, and what was the moment just before that? And maybe not moment, but maybe the weeks or the days leading up to that, and look for your own, let's say, alerts that go off in your mind that say, hey, I am to the place that it's before that. And just like the preservation tips are going to be different, the signs that you're nearing burnout are going to be different. And so as you look at what you need from the history, you can also look forward to the future and say, oh, here's something that I know. I learned that I was always sacrificing sleep, and now I'm pretty specific on my 7 hours of sleep. And sometimes it's a little bit more, and sometimes I can get by with a little bit less, but I just have those conversations with my spouse, I have conversations with my kids, and I honor that within my social routines and other places as well. That's just one example.
Yeah.
But it's really thinking through what do you need so that you don't get to that place where you're stretched too far.
Yes, I have a lot going on right now, and I missed a couple of appointments this week, which never happens.
Right.
And so I know I'm past my point, so I know how to recognize that. So, and you also say that if we understand our stretch capacity, it helps us empathize with others.
Yes.
For sure.
Because if you can look around and look at your friends or coworkers or people in your neighborhood and go, oh, I get it. She's got extra heavy right now. Yeah. I can't ask more of her, or I shouldn't ask more of her. Or instead of giving her a big task like I would have last month when she was doing better, I know she still wants to be involved, but let me give her something small that helps her feel like she's still connected and involved, but not doing too much. Same thing at the office. We still can require people to get their jobs done and to do their basic tasks, but we might not be able to ask them to do more, being an understanding of that. So we can have a little bit more empathy. We all have had times where we have extra heavy. We've all had times where it's been light. And so we can just be a little bit more empathetic about people's emotional and physical loads.
Yeah, I think the key is remembering those times, right? Because it's easy to forget the hard times.
Yes.
And when we remember them, we're more empathetic for sure.
For sure.
Okay, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, you can find more information at speakmichelle.com. And there's a lot of research surrounding happiness and resilience and how we can stretch, also available on the research tab.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Good to meet you, Michelle.